Typically, bonsai are repotted in early spring as they start to push buds. However, the question often is, what do you do with tropicals? For tropicals, it is often very good to do this in the middle of summer. That's where we are at right now. It is early July, and this Raintree, a thornless variety, is not all that happy. In fact, it is very unhappy. But if you look here at the ends of the branches, you see lots and lots of fat buds. This tree is about to explode with growth. I think it is unhappy because 1. I wired it over winter and I haven't removed the wire yet. 2. It was inside all winter and it wasn't happy. When it came out, it was cold, rainy and dark. Now that the temperatures have popped up, the new pot is in place because I don't think, well actually, a repot is needed because this hasn't been repotted in years. That might be another reason why it is unhappy. So I'm now going to repot. At the moment it's about 27 Celsius. I don't know what's that in Fahrenheit, 85. Then I'm going to put in a new pot, and the same thing for my Jabuticaba tree. Now this Jabuticaba is very much still in training. This is a branch that I'm going to use to create a new tree, and even this low one here I'm going to air layer off, but not this year, next year. I got it as a stump with just these little ends of a branch and everything else was grown in this pot. So that has been quite successful. Now how to get it out. As usual, I've been too enthusiastic with putting the camera on before doing the prep work. There we go. Taking off the wire, folding it open, and the pot comes off. And you can see roots are growing, but it's not all that healthy anymore. I've kept it on the wet side this spring. It was actually still sitting in a drip tray that I used inside. And with all the rain, it has just been sitting in a little bit of water. And that's why the roots are unhappy at the moment. The root ball is dense, but not too dense. It could have stayed in a little bit longer. But you know what, I'm at it now. And I'm not going to repot before it goes inside. And now it still has a lot of growing season left. Taking out all the wires is of course important. First time I look at these roots in a long time. Curious to see how they're doing. Something I wasn't prepared for with this tree. Let me see, here you can see it. There's a whole big piece of trunk below ground. I'm just going to leave it in place for now, and I'll cut it off at the next repot. I don't want to take that step now because I wasn't prepared for it. I hadn't thought about it, but at least now I know. And I'm just going to gently remove the wig of old roots here and then plant it back up as normal. Just like that. Some high roots like this I can now also take off. The rest here I'm going to leave in place. These are nice fine roots and can help in the nabari. And actually I think I can plant this up a little bit higher than I had it originally, so that you can start seeing these surface roots. Now, which angle am I going to plant it? If you look at all these surface roots, this looks like to be a reasonable angle, the one that it was in originally already. Also, when you look at the trunk design, yeah. So something like this in the pot, and then we're done with this one. Good to go. Right, good to go for the rest of the season. This of course isn't going to go into full sun now. It is going to be in a little bit of a shade for the next couple of days. Let's remove the offending wire now from the Raintree and also get this one repotted. I'm not worrying about any leaves falling off. I could actually completely defoliate because I assume all these leaves are going to fall off in the next couple of weeks. But you know, let's allow the tree to use whatever is in the leaves, but I'm not going to be very careful when wiring. Just don't want to break any branches. Now what I'm concerned about is that the top of the tree has died off. This is one of the reasons why I think it might need a repotting. But besides that, this tree was in good health all winter, so I'm not sure what was happening here. Maybe it's just too cold and too wet over the last weeks. Look at this nabari that was hidden under the soil. Very, very nice root flare. Still no heavy roots. Let's see how much deeper I need to go for that. These little nodules that you see are a sign of a healthy root. They are nitrogen fixating bacteria that colonize the roots and this way help the roots to grow. Right, all cleaned out. A few long roots, a few heavier roots here at the root base. Some really healthy sprouts indicating yes, this is pushing roots. Let's make sure it pushes roots on the inside and get this back into a pot. Also this one gets a little bit extra organics because over winter it is going to be growing in my window and that's going to be dry and wet and that's going to be dry. So in winter it needs the organics, so in summer I need to be a little bit wary of overwatering. But this is now ready to go back into the pot. I'm not doing all that much more on it. And after that it's back into the garden to grow. Now the front of the tree is this part, because there's no big scars. Unfortunately that's also where there's no big roots, but there are some young roots forming. So I'm going to have to make sure that this part gets fertilized more than the back. So here in the front these roots get a chance to really catch up with the rest of the root ball. But all in all, quite happy with what I see here. Again, as always, you organize the individual roots to create a nice radial fashion and no interlocking of the roots before you plant it back up. High roots you can remove. This way you create roots all in a flat fashion, radiating out from the main trunk. And over time this develops the big flare that you like on the tree, helping the illusion of strong taper. Now I realize I haven't been very good at showing you the replanting, and there's an easy reason. It's warm, it's dry, and the roots are drying out, so I just had to get on with it. No different from any other repotting, to be honest. Alright, 4 weeks have passed. These trees, they're doing quite well. Here there's some new growth also on the Jabuticaba already. Here on this side there's growth and growth. So this has recovered quite well. I could actually give it a little bit of a prune and a thin. This is a thornless Raintree, and my problem with this tree is that it is not a reliable backbutter. So now I do get some buds here in the top, and I could actually, I will do that, remove here the extension and there as well, hopefully triggering more of the lower growth. But you can see here was a lot more growth than here on these lower branches, and I'm not sure why. So if you have a thornless Brazilian Raintree and you can guide me on how to get these to more effectively backbud, fill up a little bit on the inside, that would be quite helpful. I am, to be honest, struggling a little bit. It could be because I'm not in the tropics. The climate might just not be right for this species. But I am not convinced that that is it, because right now it is nice summer weather, it is warm, it has been raining lots, these plants should be thriving. The repotting was not that extreme. I just keep getting this on my Brazilian Raintrees all the time. And I can now indeed, here is a fat bud, clip this back. Here is an extension, but a fat bud as well, clip this back. Here is a fat bud. And I just prune them back so it is stimulated to use these inner buds a little bit more. But it can't be that every single time I need to be so drastic in my pruning that I basically prune off everything. Let me know. It is a nice tree though. Downside is still this big cut from where I cut it off. But for the rest it is pretty damn good. Here, this is a shame that you have to cut this off to get this to extend properly. Maybe I'm now actually damaging the tree more than that I'm helping it. So pop me a comment how you manage a Brazilian Raintree, the thornless variety, because the thorned variety is very easy. It does really well in my climate. This one just only seems to want to extend at the ends unless I really do drastic prunes on it. As for the Jabuticaba, let's just take out a few of these vertical stalks that really grow through the canopy and come up or grow really towards the inside. But I think I would best just leave this a little bit longer. I still have a few big cuts here that I want to heal, so I can allow it to grow a little bit more. But just here in the top, I don't want overly heavy growth. I also want lower growth. So just a little tiny bit of a prune. Well, a few weeks have passed. It's August, and you can see the Raintree is responding with explosive growth here in the top. And here at the bottom it is a lot slower. So what am I going to do? Exactly this way. The lower branches get more strength relatively to the top. And hopefully it will cause a little bit more back budding here also on these branches on the inside. There's one more. That's pretty much all there is to do right now. Clipping the growing tips out. And the Jabuticaba, of course, is doing quite well. This is a feather, not a leaf. And it's not started growing yet. I'm sure it will, because if I look on the inside, there are fattening buds. I think I saw one branch that was starting to extend, but I can't find it right now. But as you can see, oh yeah, here it is. There is a little bit of a new growth here and here on the top. But besides that, this is just slowly waking up. Big fat buds here in the top. This will start growing in a couple of weeks. Doing quite well. It's less than 2 weeks. And really the tip pruning here on the top has really helped to push out these lower branches. And in fact, I am now getting a little bit of back budding here on the main trunk as well. And there's a new branch forming here. There's a young branch forming here. There's a little bud there. So yeah, seriously prune and then fertilize has helped a lot. That's really, really nice. And in October, it is very clear this has been quite successful. They've grown well. You see how this is developing now. They're full of weeds though, so I need to get the weeds out. I don't know what it is in the background. Do you hear it too? I hope not. Anyway, repotting, tropicals. Do it in summer when it's warm, so that by fall, when you have to bring them inside, if you are in a cold climate, they're well rooted, well established, and ready to do so. And then of course you clean out the pots, you take away all the weeds and all those sort of things, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. The 1 year cycle, growing out, now transplanting tropicals and showing you that indeed the work that I did is of no concern to them. And there you have it, repotting tropical bonsai in summer, doing quite well now. This was Jelle, growing bonsai, and see you next time. If you want to know more about Jabuticaba and how it grows, or if you want to know more about Brazilian Raintree,